you typically, you are going to get the best price on curriculum at a homeschool conference. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Megan, and I am so glad that you are here. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing my haul from the Teach Them Diligently conference. So I just got back from the homeschool conference, Teach Them Diligently in Pigeon Forge. It was my second year going, and we had an amazing time. So I'm going to start with that first before I get into the haul. So I had registered to go last year, and it turned into so much more than what I ever imagined it would be this time last year. And that is because I became part of the community Made to Homeschool. If you're not familiar with Made to Homeschool, it is an online homeschooling community by Christian homeschool content creators, and it is a place where you can join that is drama-free. It is a place where you can get the insights and ideas and input from mamas that are all different styles of homeschooling, from anything from prayer requests to amazing workshops that are similar to what you would get if you went to a homeschooling convention, and you're going to get that all throughout the year. So because I am now part of Made to Homeschool, it made it an extra special trip because Made to Homeschool actually had a booth at Teach Them Diligently this year, and I got to meet about 40% of our content creator team in person, and we just had this amazing bond immediately. It's one thing when you're kind of chatting back and forth in groups or on video calls for something, but it's another thing when you get to actually meet in person. And we had so much fun. We were really loud and we laughed so much, and it was just a wonderful time. We also got to experience, for many of us, our first time speaking at a homeschool conference, because we got to participate in a panel that was sharing and talking about the importance of community in our homeschooling, especially for us mamas. And so it was just a wonderful time to get to sit and talk together in front of a group of people at conference. So all that to say, we had a wonderful time, and I got some fun stuff, and that's what I'm here to share with you guys today, is the things that I got at conference. Now, disclaimer, I really tried my best to only get what I knew I would absolutely use. There were some specific things that I knew I wanted to pick up, and there's a few things that I didn't know I was going to pick up, but I really tried to keep myself accountable and not just buy all the cool things that you can find at conferences. The pros to buying curriculum or other resources at a homeschool conference is the fact that you typically, you are going to get the best price on curriculum at a homeschool conference. That's just one of the incentives that you get when you go and you purchase there. And so I was really pleased with what I got. So I'm going to share that with you now. All right, so I am actually going to start with some books that I decided to pick up. I tried to find some that were on our reading list for our history next year. That's typically what we use our read alouds to intertwine with, is like historical fiction or even biographical things. And so there were a few things that I did need to pick up for that, but I'm also trying to be mindful to use the library more and purchase books that I know we love, because in the past I have gotten certain books, even ones that are recommended, and I was actually kind of sorry that I had purchased some of them because they turned out to be a book that we didn't really enjoy. So I'm trying to be really mindful of that, just making sure that what I'm spending my money on is really something that I want to spend my money on. And so there were, like I said, a few things that I went ahead and picked up because I've already checked and our library doesn't have them, or I knew that I would want them. So the first book I got was actually from like a little used book stand, and it's Huguenot Garden, and this is actually to go along with our history. Now, our library does not have this book, and it was suggested as a read aloud. So I went ahead and picked it up because it was half the price of new, and I've had a hard time trying to find it used, so I went ahead and grabbed that. The next book that I got is actually one that I picked up for my daughter, and it is 10 Girls Who Changed the World, and it is Corrie ten Boom and a bunch of others. So I got that for her just because she does really love to read, and I wanted her to read about some notable women in history, especially regarding the faith. The next two books that I got are part of the Daughters of Faith series. Now, they have redone the covers, so I almost didn't recognize these, but I'm glad I realized that these were from that series because Moody Publishing actually had these for only $5 each, which was a great price. So these books, we read a book by Harriet Tubman called Courage to Run last year or year before last, I can't remember, and it was so good. It evoked every like emotion, and it was just a very good book. Definitely a living style book. And so I wanted to pick up some for our history for next year. So I got Phyllis Wheatley, and I also got The Captive Princess, which of course is about Pocahontas. So I grabbed those two. I also got Star of Light by Patricia St. John. I had not gotten this one. We do have Treasures of the Snow, I think is what it was called, that we read a couple of years ago and really enjoyed it. And so I picked up this one also for $5 from Moody Publishing. The next one I got is also for our history, and it was just a couple of dollars at a used book stand, but I don't think this has ever been used. It is called The Slave Dancer, and the whole synopsis of the book sounded really interesting, so I did go ahead and pick up that one. So the next things that I'm going to share with you are some things that are for either like family worship or Bible study. And so the first thing that I got is actually Our Hymns, Our Heritage. And this is a student guide to songs of the church. Now, I have owned Then Sings My Soul since before I was in college, or maybe it was when I was in college that I got it, and I just always held on to it, and we have used it in our homeschool many times, and it is a common one that is used. However, this one was really intriguing to me. So this has a different layout with the hymns. It's going to have a section that categorizes it by Advent, Christmas, Epiphany, Lent, Palm Sunday, Easter, Pentecost, and then it has it organized into hymns that have to do with the Trinity, the sovereign, creator, I am, omnipotent, so on and so forth. And so I just really liked the layout of this one a lot better, and I liked how it told the history behind them. Then Sings My Soul does as well, but I just like how this one approached it. It also has things to think about while you are singing the hymn, and I just really like that. I thought it put a lot more like worshipful spin on it, and so I went ahead and picked that up again from Moody Publishing because they had it for only $12 as a hardback, and normally it's around $20. So I did go ahead and get that one. The next thing that I got was from Hal and Melanie Young. They actually spoke at the conference, and I have followed them for many years, but I picked this one up because I am always looking for things to pick up and arm my young men with. And so this one is Love, Honor, and Virtue, Gaining or Regaining a Biblical Attitude Toward Sexuality. And so I just thought that this would be a really good one. My husband likes to do studies with our boys as they're entering their teen years. And so I grabbed that one with that in mind. Okay, so in regards to like Bible study and hymn study and things like that, I also visited the Not Consumed booth. Last year I picked up the Faithopedia. I was so close to getting the New Testament version, but I think we are going to kind of take it as we go this year with Bible, and I'll have a video with more info on that coming soon. So if you're not subscribed, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. But as far as what I picked up this year from Not Consumed, it comes with a little bit of an explanation. A friend of mine from church actually shared something different that she did with these regarding her kiddos. So I decided to kind of use that idea for my kids. So my husband got to go with me this year, and it was wonderful. We went through the different studies and tried to match up a study for each one of my kids. Obviously, my two youngest ones did not get one. We do something different with them. But this is to encourage them in their own quiet Bible study time. So we tried to pick things that maybe would be helpful to them if it was a current struggle of theirs to go through independently. And we've actually already started it. We started it today, and they absolutely loved having their own studies to take ownership of and really dive into scripture and everything. So one of them that I got is Keep Thy Heart, the key to staying on the right path, and it is all about your attitude of your heart determining your path. And so that is for one of my kiddos. The next one is Making Peace. We can forgive others because God has forgiven us. It's all about conflict resolution. What person doesn't need that? I mean, you know, I think we can all use about heart's attitudes, conflict resolution. Then this one, Do Right, learning to make wise choices in the face of temptation. And then the last one for one of my kiddos is Fruit of the Tongue, a biblical study on the power of words. Your words have power, use them wisely. So, as I said, each one is for a different kiddo, and so yeah, so that's what I ended up getting from Not Consumed this year. I probably will end up ordering more from them later on. I just wanted to make sure that what I was getting is exactly what I wanted right now. And we're not quite finished with this. All right, so the next thing is a just for fun item, and it is this Adventures in Odyssey CD, and it is over 4 hours of Adventures in Odyssey. So I like to keep things in the car for us to listen to when we're driving. We listen to audiobooks a lot. Of course, we listen to music as well, but I just thought this would be something fun for us in the car as well. So I picked up that with my kiddos in mind. And then the next two things, I have a few more items, but these next two things are some curriculum items. I needed to get Explode the Code 1 for my daughter, who will be going into first grade, so I grabbed that for her. I also, if you all saw my science picks video, you know how hard choosing science this year was. And I went back and forth about one particular science for my oldest boys, okay? Well, I ended up choosing a science that we are going to be using from Memoria Press, which I am really excited about using that one. But I just could not pass up the Berean Builders Science in the Industrial Age. Now, technically, this is like their elementary series, like up to 6th grade or something. But if you were to look at the text and the information that's in here, you could easily use this in middle school as well, especially if you're doing like all the activities and experiments and all that kind of stuff. So I actually did go ahead and get this. If we don't use this year after we do that unit study with my oldest boys in the fall, like when we start the school year, if we don't use it this next school year after we finish that one, then we will for sure use it the following school year with everybody. But I have looked and looked and looked at this, and I was like, okay, I'm going to walk away with this because I know at some point I want to do it. So I got this, and it came with the helps and hints. It includes the tests and then also like some answers to questions within the book. So that is my curriculum items I grabbed. And then I have a couple more things I want to share with you guys, and I'm really excited about these. Okay, so you all know if you've been around my channel, you know I really like Gentle and Classical Press. We're going to be using their nature study next year. We used the primer this year. And so there was something I have had my eye on for a while. So we are probably going to use this in our morning time a couple of days a week. And it is also going to double as part of my first graders social studies for next year. And that is these On Mission magazines from Gentle and Classical Press. Now, she has all different countries, all different kinds. These are really, really cool, and I will share more about these in my daughter's video or maybe in my resources video that I have coming up soon. But what's really neat about these is, first of all, they're absolutely beautiful. They are full color, but she has several different countries, and it's going to share what it is like in that country. It's going to kind of give a look at the geography, what the culture is like, what the animals are like there, but also it's going to have a high focus on mission work in that area. So if it is an area that is predominantly another religion besides Christianity, then it's going to share about that from a missions perspective. And so I just think they look wonderful. You can actually download the India one for free on their website as a PDF, but they had these the first day of convention as buy one, get one free. Now, I was very choosy with these because I'm going to be doing this with a very young daughter, as mostly being her social studies. I mean, we're going to use it as a whole family, but because I'm using it with a very young one as part of her social studies, I wanted to focus more on a couple of countries that do not have an alternate religion or viewpoint than Christianity. And that is because I want to instill a foundation, a really solid foundation before I start introducing a lot about other faiths. Obviously, she knows about different faiths. She knows that other people don't always believe in God. But delving really deep into that, I just don't feel comfortable doing that with a child who is so young yet. And so that is why I chose the Guatemala and Ireland as the ones that we're going to use next year. And again, in my resources video that I will have coming out, and also my first grade curriculum video I will have coming out soon, I will share more about those magazines in there if you want to see inside. Like I said, they are gorgeous, and you could do so much with those magazines. I only chose 2. I kind of wish that I had gotten 4 to use throughout the year. I just wanted to make sure that I would absolutely, use those completely through the year, which I don't think is going to be a problem. And I can always purchase more as the year goes on. So the next thing I got, this is the last thing I'm going to share with you guys, is something I've had my eye on for a while, and I loved actually getting my hands on it to see how this can work for our family. So I have done several videos on morning time. You all know that we do our little morning basket, and we use our little menus and all the things, okay? So I really wanted something that was actually laid out and done for me for this upcoming school year. In the past, I have pulled a lot myself, which isn't a problem, but because I'm going to be having pretty much 6 kids in my homeschool next year, because my preschooler will be joining us next year, then I wanted to capitalize on the fact that there was something already done for me. And so I have, like I said, I've been eyeing this for a while. This is the Brighter Day Press Morning Time Volume 2. Now, the reason that I chose Volume 2 is actually mainly because of the read alouds, because it already included several of the read alouds that I was planning on us doing next year for fun. And the ones that we have already read that are in here, we're either going to replace with the alternate ones from the list in here, or we're going to replace it with some of the ones with our history for next year. So again, I will delve more inside this one when I talk about what resources we're using in a separate video. But I just wanted to share that this is something that I have been really excited about, and I have my hands on it now. And I think it's going to be great for next year. It's just all laid out for me. I just love that. It has beautiful pictures, poems, you know, all the artwork that we're going to be studying and everything. It's just all right here in this morning time curriculum. So I'm really excited about that one. So that is everything that I got from our homeschool convention this year, conference, convention, whatever you want to call it. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. And as I said, some of these I will give a greater insight and look inside, tell you how we're going to use it, all of those things in a resources video that will be coming out pretty soon. So stay tuned, and I will see you guys on future videos. Thanks so much, guys, and have a blessed day.